Morning everyone, it's Susanna here from Tweak.Health and you're joining me this morning for a work with me session. So today we're going to do a 15-minute, it might even be 10, but a 15-minute workout trying to get our glutes switching on. So the glutes are really important for your whole body's function really. So it's a bit of a hidden muscle. Most people don't think about working the glutes specifically, but it does affect how your pelvis works and then your lower back, which sits on top of your pelvis, and of course the control in the angle of your hips and therefore your knees. So I see a lot of people with knee pain because their glutes aren't firing properly, same for the back. So today I thought we'll work on actually helping you find and activate your bum muscles. So if you're wanting to grow your glute muscles or just improve your back or your knees or just improve your general strength, then give these glute exercises a go. So what we'll be using is a combination of different things, including this coconut weight bottle. So if you don't have a dumbbell, then you can actually just use even like a coconut water or something that is a little bit soft enough to squeeze, or a water bottle is fine too. So these are literally 1 liter, that will be enough. Or you don't even need any weights if you don't have any, don't worry about it. I also have a plate weight. So this is 5 kilos. You can use a 10 kilo one if you want. So if it's handy, have that close by, and a band of course. So I would probably recommend a light to medium strength band to start off with, see how you go, and then of course you can always tie them together if you need a little bit more resistance. So first of all, before we turn on our glutes, I find that we need to often stretch out the front and your groin muscles, because when they're really tight, they just take over, and then your glutes just don't come on at all because the other muscles are just helping too much. So we'll just start off with doing a few inner thigh or groin stretches first, and then we'll move on to some options for bum exercises, okay? So if we start off with just doing our typical frog stretch. So if you put your feet together and squeeze your knees out wide, push your thighs down and try and lean forward to get that groin to open up. Hi Amy and Sam, morning. It's good to see you guys jumping on the live video with me. Makes me feel less lonely. So if you're pushing that down, hold as long as you can. You can get your weight now. So if you've got one or two even, hi guys, put your weight onto your thighs and try and drop it down. So you can have one on each if you can tolerate it, or just one. Okay, I'll show you another option that you can do, and this is actually my preferred option. If you have your feet together and put one of the weights onto your thigh, you can do this one by one with the legs straight, or you can have it bent, doesn't matter. And then if you have two, you can always put one on the other side and do them together. So what you could either do is just lay there and just let that weight pull your hip down slowly to stretch it out. Or you could do what I call a hold, relax, stretch. So you're kind of keeping your back and your belly tight just to keep that from tilting. Just push gently up into the weight, or you can actually do this with your hands. If you don't have any weights, you can press your hands down your thighs. So resist it, hold for about 6 seconds, just that tiniest contraction to almost lift the plates up but not quite, and then relax and melt it down, and you actually feel the plates push you down a little bit further. So if you just try and do a few of those reps, so squeezing a little bit upwards and then melting it down a little bit more, just to stretch that further into range. So that's opening up your hips, that's also getting your glutes almost firing a little bit. Hi Veronica. So working on those ones, then there's another option that you can quickly do also. It's called the happy baby. So if you grab onto your inner arches of your foot and then push your feet into your hands, that's going to actually open up through the groin as well in your inner thighs, and you also stretch out your back here. So if you're feeling quite good, you can actually then start to open up your legs a bit further and just stretch it out even into straight, depending how flexible you are. Again, just go up to where you feel comfortable, not into pain. So you can go a little bit further and just try and open it up a little bit. So the more you stretch these muscles, the better chance your glutes have to fire, especially those lazy butt muscles. So give that one a go. And then we're going to then go into our butt workouts. So the first one we're going to do is on our tummy. So I'm not sure how you guys are going to go with these ones. So let me know at the end which one's your favorite and which one you don't feel anything with. So everyone's a bit different. So everyone's going to turn on their muscles differently as well. So don't get frustrated. If one doesn't work for you, we'll try the next one, okay? So this session is all about helping you find and activate those stubborn glute muscles. So on your stomach now, we're going to work on just bending your feet in, and I call this one the frog, oh, not quite the frog, but more of the whale or dolphin if you like, because what you're going to do is keep your heels together lightly and then lift up through your thighs. So you're squeezing and lifting, and you're trying to not use your upper back. So if you feel like your upper back keeps rocking, then you're actually trying to use your lower back and your upper back to help pull. So try and relax everything down. Squeeze your abs to support your lower back, and then really clenching through your butt muscles, and see if you can keep your knees wide as you lift a little bit off. You may not even get off the ground. You can just even try and just imagine you lifting off, and if you're feeling your bum muscles working, that's good enough. So if you're getting a lot of cramping in your hamstrings, you're probably not using your butt enough. So bring your heels in a little bit more, and then try and relax your legs in that position and focus on clenching your cheeks together like you've got a pencil or credit card swiping through your cheeks. Sounds so bad. Squeeze and lift. Okay, so you can start trying to do about 10 reps of these ones. I'm just going to see if there's any questions or comments in the video. So if you're feeling like this is pretty good or you're not feeling it, let's try a different option. So what you could do is tie a band really tightly around your knees, and we'll do it with the band in place. So again, if you don't feel anything with that one, or it's so easy that you feel nothing, try this version. So tie the band really tight around your knees. And then exactly the same thing, but you're also now having to push outwards into the band. So you should already be feeling, just by pushing your knees out into the band, you're feeling it. And then when you're trying to hold it while you lift, that's really, well, I'm feeling it in my bum. So I'm hoping you can feel it. It's up here in your glutes, not in your hamstrings, and not in that attachment point of your hamstrings. It should be like in the round bits. So squeezing and lifting and actively pushing outwards with your knees. Okay, so this is one of my favorite ones to switch on your glutes. It's just another great one because it's stretching out the front of your hip at the same time. Now the next one we're going to then do is what I like to call the flamingo. So we'll get rid of the band here, and we'll try without any weight at all. So you're going to lay almost onto your, almost like you're rolling onto your belly, bend the top leg and hook your foot around the bottom knee. Now you can have this top hand here just to balance and brace. And I'm going to get you to just squeeze your butt and try and lift your knee off. Okay? You will be using your hands, but you're basically trying to really isolate your glutes. You will feel a bit of your abs here to stabilize, which is a good ab workout as well as stability core one. But you're really trying to strengthen and using your butt muscle to try and lift that knee off. Okay? So the foot is quite relaxed. I'm not using my foot to like yank it up, but I'm trying to squeeze using my butt. So I'm hoping you guys can feel this. This is where you can, if you're feeling like you need a little bit more pressure, use your water bottle, or I'm using Coca-Cola. Not that I'm shouting out on anything for any particular brand, but Coca-Cola's pretty good. So you're holding your knee down, and then you're bracing with the weight. It's going to be a little harder, and then you're trying to lift off. Okay? You might feel a bit in your hammies too. So you kind of maintain a little bit of that pressure as you lift. Okay, see how you go with those ones? Let's try and get you doing maybe 10 reps on one side and then swap and do 10 on the other side. Hey, Britt. So once you've done the other side as well, what then we'll try and, I'll just quickly show you the clamshell. That's a really popular exercise that a lot of people kind of do wrong. So put the band back on, but this time around your knees. And I'll quickly show you how you can do your clamshell. I always have my feet up because for the angle of my hips, it just seems to turn on the butt muscle better. So I kind of just open through the knees and try and keep your feet just really relaxed while you're hovering them. And you should be feeling this here in this part of your bum. So you kind of start with your feet together, knees together, and then push upwards into the band. You may not even need the resistance of the band, but it can be useful to actually switch on the muscles there as well. So you can actually add some pulses there, like pushing upwards multiple times, holding your knee up while you're doing this, just to make the muscle burn a little bit more. Try and keep your hip away from your ribs. So if this is starting to work inwards and drop in towards your rib cage, then you might actually be using more of your back as well to do the movement. So you want to always keep your hand there to remind yourself that it needs to stay away from your ribs as you continue. So sometimes people feel like this doesn't work their glutes and they're only feeling around the groin or your hamstring. So if that is the case, you can play around with the angles of your knees. So it might be you need to bring your knees up higher so you can feel it activating in your bum. Okay, or even maybe disconnect your feet and then just actually lifting up and down with your feet free. So these are some options, or even getting rid of the band if it's too heavy and you're just using whatever muscles you've got to compensate. Okay, so try and do it. Try and do it even without that. Awesome. How's everyone going? Yeah, not the clam. So you don't have to do the clam if it's not like working for you, all right? It's just another option. Okay, so after the clam, we're going to do another one called your side lying leg lift. So again, there are plenty of options for this one. So the easiest way to do it is just bending the bottom leg. I almost call it the stalk. So you kind of relax the bottom leg and the top leg is straight and at hip height. So you always want to start at hip height so you don't start getting into the groin. So start holding it up, then trying to lift just about 2 inches or even 1 inch if that's all you've got in terms of movement without cheating and using your back. So I always put my hand on my hip to actually give me some feedback to see if my back or my hip is dropping in like that. Because if that's the case, see what's happening with my tummy? I'm just rocking up and down and I'm just using my back. So if you just find that your leg is not moving like a huge range, that's probably wrong. So you want to actually brace with your tummy and then just tiniest lift up and down. Okay, keeping your legs straight. So if you were to look straight down, you should only basically see your big toe. You shouldn't see your whole foot. So a lot of times, if it comes too far forward, most people are cheating and using the front and side of your hips rather than their butt. So you almost want to bring it slightly in line with your hips, if not further back. And then going up and down, tiniest movement, relaxing your foot and leading with your heel. So the whole thing should be working on that corner bit of your muscle, your butt muscle. Okay, again, you can do ab pulses, stay up. Okay, another variation is holding it in front of you and then just up and down, tapping down in front of you with your toe. Okay, down, up, down, up. So you're holding it on this 60-degree angle, which is a lot harder, and you're trying to keep that butt muscle working. You can also do the one right behind you. So lifting and tapping your toe down, nice long straight leg. Try not to bend your knee, because once your knee starts to bend, you're actually now not isolating your butt and it's all flapping. You're using your hamstring, your quad, and even a bit of hip flexor, alright? So you need to make sure your leg is locked and straight, squeezing your butt. Okay, how are we going? Again, if you've got questions or comments, guys, feel free to pop that in. Hey Kate, morning Christine. So then don't forget, you got to do, the 10 reps on one side, try and do 10 on the other. Or if all you can manage is 5 reps because your butt's like dying, then just stop at 5 and then flip over to the other side. You can always come back and do multiple sets, okay? So I'll only show you a few reps so that this video doesn't go on forever. But that's your side lying leg series, and it's great for the side muscles in your butt. Now I want to show you one of my favorite ones for getting your glutes on, and that's the bridges, but also adding a bit of the weight plate or the band. So have that close by if you've got it. So usually I do a few warm-up roll-ups first, okay? So with this one, always great to have your hands on your hips so you can feel what your hips are doing. So just doing a few hip tilts first, just to warm up that bum and your back. So when I do this, I'm not using my abs at all. That's completely relaxed, and I'm actually tilting using my butt. So I'm squeezing and clenching my bum and actually rolling as far back as possible, clenching your butt cheeks together, and then relaxing it. So my abs don't really do too much until I start to lift off. So as I start to lift off now, I'm holding on to that backward tilt. So my hips are going backwards, squeezing onto my bum, and then starting to lift off. So my lower abs down here are now engaging while I press my feet flat. So when you have your feet not flat like this, it starts to dig into your hamstring, you start to cramp. So make sure your toes are down and then start to roll down. So we'll just do a few little warm-ups just so your butt muscles are working a bit and making sure your back is relaxed, ribs are relaxed. And then I'm going to show you first without any weight or equipment, and then you can add on if you want, okay, if you've got them. So now we'll just do one more here, and then once you've got that one, we'll stay up there, and you should really hopefully feel your butt already. So start to squeeze your bum on tighter, and we're going to push upwards. So it's like the tiniest squeeze harder, and then release a little bit, squeeze tighter, release a little bit. So it's like a tiniest little squeeze tilts. It's like a tiniest pulse. So really making sure that you're not just thrusting up like this, like a lot of people do at the gym, and that starts to work a bit differently now, starting to work more hamstring, but just more focusing on a little scoop underneath, release, and really clench through your cheeks. So you can continue with this like this without anything, or you can use a plate and just pop that onto your pelvis and just do the same thing. You can always do a kettlebell, you could get your toddler and put them on here, but really clenching and lifting. So I like to mix it up with doing some big squeezes, little pulses like this, and then holds. So really squeezing and holding as long as you can. And it's the unhappy triad of doing all three in one set, and that will kill your glutes, I'm sure, hopefully, anyway. Okay, so that's one option. Then what you could do is also tying a band around your knees. So this one is probably best if it's a little bit, at least medium to firm strength. I might actually put two on, just because it seems to be a bit easier. Like this, then on your tummy. And then, okay, so then you do exactly the same thing, but this time you've got a bit more cueing to actually try and push your knees outwards as you lift. So you're gonna hold it, a little bit of pressure to open your knees against the band. Do exactly the same thing, scooping. So some of you might actually prefer this because having the outward pressure switches on your glutes better and takes out the inner groin and thighs from working. So you do the same thing, hold it up the top, and then now I like to add what I call the butterfly. So opening and closing the thighs without dropping your bum. So you're holding your cheeks up the whole time, and then you're just kind of adding a bit more pressure, pushing outwards into the band while you're holding your bum up. So if your bum is dropping, each time you open, it's probably struggling to hold that lift. So just drop it down a little bit. You can still do the butterflies in a lower hip range, less hip extension if it's weaker in that top end range position. So you can just do that. You can even just do a hold like this without the pulses. You can even do one knee at a time while you don't move the other one. Now that's different and definitely is working your abs to stabilize through there. So you can do 10 single leg ones, then 10 on the other side without moving the other leg. So one leg's holding, one leg's moving. So that again just causes you to work a little bit more harder, as well as makes your core turn on a bit more. So that's another option that you can do for the bridges. Okay, I think we've run out of that 15-minute time. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet. So I'm hoping you guys got some value out of that, working on your glutes. Just send me any questions or comments if you're struggling, and any tips on what works best for you. I'd love to hear it because everybody's a bit different, remember. So don't feel frustrated if you're struggling. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it. I'd love it too. And we'll see you this Thursday in 2 days at 9 o'clock. And we will probably be discussing how you can warm up and cool down after a run or a walk, because I think that's what everyone's doing now that the gyms are shut and you're probably going stir crazy. So I'll see you guys then.